Welcome to Amusings with Chelsea and Angie.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Angie.
What's up, guys? Hello.
Yay.
Another week.
Yay.
Hasn't been the greatest week, but that's okay.
Mine's okay.
We haven't had too much swelling. So, it's still really hot, as usual.
Hot. Because we're all in a heat dome. I think we should invent, like, a rocket ship with a point and shoot it up at the heat dome. Except the heat dome isn't really a dome like, you know, Stephen King dome that you can poke it, which I wish it was, but it's not. And there are fires everywhere.
But they haven't been like huge fires. They've been decently sized fires.
I'm sorry, it's taking out like a huge chunk of Hawaii.
Oh, well, that one, yes.
Yes.
That one, yes. And I feel really bad for all them over there. We won't get into the politics of it. I'm aggravated about it, but we won't get into it.
You would think, since it's an island, you could just scoop and splash, but
I don't think it works like that.
I know. Life would be so much easier if it were, hey, get the bucket from the ocean, splash, splash, splash.
Yeah.
But no.
No. Conspiracy theorists
Oh my God.
are probably in full rampage mode.
I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt.
I know you don't want to hear it. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure they're probably in full rampage mode.
I know, they probably
And I can see their point. Let's just put it that way.
Look, I'm so tired of I am hoping for the downfall of the human species. We just need to become extinct because there are a bunch of dum-dums. And they need to not breed. Amen.
Oh, dear Lord. Help her, for she don't know what she do.
Hey, I was reading a thingy in my email news in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they called it M97. Anyway, there was a wolf, and it came into this island in Canada, and it boosted this wolf population.
Okay.
Which is good, because then it kept the moose population down, and then the moose didn't destroy all the trees. Well, none of the other wolves from M97's former pack, wherever he came from, followed him. He was the only one. So then he had like a bunch of babies, and then they started inbreeding.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess you get stupid wolves or whatever. So then the wolf population on that island, like, shrunk. So the moose population expanded, and now they're destroying all the trees and stuff. So he caused a swell and then a collapse.
So the answer to that is do it again, but be smart about it. Bring more than one.
Well, it's not his fault. They just happened to be tracking that one wolf, and yeah, only one came across.
Oh, it's not a good sign.
Yeah, I guess so. Like when humans crossed over the Bering Strait, like into Alaska and then down, there were a shit ton of them. So not inbreeding.
Inbreeding bad. That's what happened with
Alabama. What? Arkansas.
I was going to say Arkansas.
Parts of Tennessee.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
Easy.
Isn't that where that Deliverance movie was? Kentucky?
Angie!
What?
You're basically saying everything in the South.
I didn't say Texas.
You're from the South. Well, you're raised here.
So, Oklahoma.
Anywho. That's what happened with Henry, the England people over there in the King department. We won't get on that subject, but yeah.
That man also did not have very strong sperm. He had weak sperm. because he's a weak, pathetic little man.
Was he?
Yes. I'm hoping for the extinction of the human race.
You do realize that you too and your babies and all that, your fur babies, nobody's going to be able to take care of them. Is it be
human
doggy,
race.
Doggy? I know, it'll be doggy, doggy. Who's going to take care of the animals?
They will become like they were before we dum-dums were here. They seem to have done okay until somebody said,
yours did okay, but you brought it inside.
It was freaking hot. We're in a heat dome.
Yeah, I know. And what if it's another heat dome and they're all stuck outside because you killed the human race?
No,
Be smarter.
I think without all the human interference, this planet could thrive.
Maybe. Fair enough.
We done jacked it up.
It's all this technology, putting stuff into the ozone layer and all that other stuff.
What little ozone layer we have left.
Yeah, because the sun's clearly going through it.
Yes.
At least right now it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's time for our segment of
Stars on Mars. Stars on Mars. This is the next to last episode.
Already?
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes, this coming week, when we do the podcast again, it'll be the final episode. And
guys, get out there and watch it. Stuff. So this week, please tell me it's something good.
It's embarrassing, not for me.
Okay.
But for dumb people.
Yay!
So there's no base commander or mission specialist.
Dun dun dun!
And so they get the alarm, bloop, 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 and then it says, hey, guess what, guys? No base commander, no mission specialist. And they're like, huh?
Everybody's up for elimination now.
Yes.
Take that, banana boats.
So their challenge is they get broken up into two teams. One is Kat, Adam, and Paul. And then on the other side is Marshawn, Portia, and Tinashe.
Oh.
They have to line up these satellite dishes.
Okay.
In the order of our solar system.
Oh, God.
And whoever lines them up first and then runs back to the thingy, the computer will either green light. If it green lights, that means they get a strong signal and they won the challenge.
Oh, gravy.
Yep. Each satellite has a planet name on it. And Tinashe and Adam were the only two people. Everybody else was like, I don't know the order of the planets. And Tinashe and Adam go, well, I know in their little confessional thing, she's like, I remember the order of the planets because I remember that song from Blue's Clues. And I looked at my sister and I said, I'm sure every science teacher out there is thrilled that the only reason that you know the order of the solar system, that we live in, is because you remembered a song from Blue's Clues.
I mean, if it gets you to remember it, that's a good thing.
I was in 3rd grade.
How many years ago?
I had to build a model of the solar system.
See, you did
by myself.
I didn't.
I had to color the little balls and stick them on the stick and label them.
No, I didn't have to do that.
Oh my god.
I had to label bugs.
No bugs.
We had to do bugs.
So these dum-dums, celebranauts, are moving the satellite dishes and they're going, where's Mars? That's like the 3rd planet, right? And I'm just like, can we just fast forward through this so that, I don't have to see how completely and utterly inept they are with knowing the planets in our solar system.
Oh, so pretty. Even though technically one of them got taken out, which I still...
Yeah, there are 8 planets. They don't count Pluto anymore.
Look, I count Pluto, okay? And the only reason why I was able to remember mine, you're gonna laugh at me. I'm not even gonna tell you. You should know it. You should know where I learned mine.
I don't know.
Really? She is the one named Sailor Moon. That's how I memorized all my planets.
Yeah, but they don't tell you in order.
No, it's just how I remember them. But that's how I can remember the names, and then I can kind of figure out where they went.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, but see, my dad was saying if you can get the first ones, you have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and then you have the Sun, and then the second Sun, Saturn, Uranus,
and Pluto. I don't care what they say, it's freaking Pluto.
They... Shut up. I'm just saying they classify it as a...
No.
Ooh, did you know that Venus is hotter than Mars? Yeah. So, Kat's team wins.
Yay.
Only by a smidge. And then the AI goes, here is your map. Go and get your whatever.
Do
I don't
what you
remember
do.
what. And so they are driving in their rover. And then Tinashe, Portia, and Marshawn get a weaker signal, so they have to follow the directions this other way.
Yeah.
So then Kat rolls up and they see like this figure in the distance, and lo and behold, it's William Shatner without a suit or helmet. Because who's going to make William Shatner put on a suit and...
Didn't he have to wear one in the stupid little machine going up there to the...
Going to space?
Yeah.
Yes, but we're in Cooper Petey. He's not a celebrity.
Everybody else has to wear it.
Right, because they're playing the game. He doesn't.
Get on board, dude.
No, he doesn't have to.
I want him to.
No.
Yes.
No, he doesn't have to. So then they load up and they head back to the hab. Meanwhile, the B team is still rolling, and they end up like an hour and a half away from the hab. They roll up on a life pod.
Uh-oh.
And they're like, oh, let's go see it. It's empty. And
obviously.
There's equipment around. And the AI says, hey, it's getting dark, and you don't have enough oxygen to get back. So you need to use the supplies and build a temporary hab.
Oh, boy.
So they build the little hab and seal it off, and then the oxygen comes in. And it says, there's not enough oxygen in here for all of you. You need to vote somebody mission critical and then have them go back to the hab. So the three of them have to decide.
Oh boy, and isn't this another little clique almost? Well, two out of the three.
No, Marshawn has an issue. He keeps picking on Portia, but Tinashe and Portia are good.
Cliquey. I see where this is going.
They all vote Tinashe go back to the hab, and Marshawn and Portia stay the night, and then we'll go back in the morning. So then in the morning they pack up the stuff and then head back to the hab, and of course when they get there the remaining people have to vote who they're going to keep.
Dun, dun, dun.
So they end up voting to keep Portia.
Really?
Yep. And Marshawn goes home. And next week, they'll all five be vying for the final patch, which is Brightest Star.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do, 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 do.
So, okay.
Yeah. It was not a super exciting episode. I was all just flabbergasted by the amount of stupid that people are not learning in school. Yay.
Yeah. Some stuff just doesn't stay and click with people.
So yeah, one more episode.
One more episode and we find out who is the
brightest star. Brightest star.
So, that's kind of it on yours. You really didn't get to watch much this week, huh?
I did start rewatching Only Murders in the Building.
Me too.
But other than that...
Proud of me? I got a writing document too.
Oh, I am.
Are you so excited for me? I'm going to do some of it. We're not going to do it. It's just basically over like the whole series is kind of what I'm trying to write. So, yeah. I can start it, I guess, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Okay. Only Murders in the Building aired August 31st, 2021. So,
Hulu.
Yes, on Hulu. So we're
not affiliated.
Yep, nothing whatsoever. But it It's on its third season right now. So, starring actors are Steve Martin as Charles Hagen Haddish, a former true crime actor. Martin Short as Oliver Putnam, a washed-out theater director / writer, and the beautiful Selena Gomez as Mabel Mora, is that how you say it? Which is a young artist. They all live in the apartment called the Arconia, and starts up, all the tenants in the Arconia are getting ready to settle in their apartments for the night when a fire alarm goes off. Boop, boop. Tragic. And everyone is told to evacuate the building. While waiting, Charles, Oliver, and Mabel discover they're all listening to the same true crime podcast. All is not okay in Oklahoma. And
which I would like to point out that she says Chickashaw.
Chickasha.
And it's Chickasha.
Chickasha. We should know. We're not far.
I'm like, that was the one thing that just kind of ground my gears.
But we hear more about it later on. So, dying to know what happens next, right? Because just as they were settling down listening to it, that's when the alarms went off. And they just had to know.
What was in the dog's mouth?
Yes!
What the hell was in Bo's mouth?
After some time, they go back to the Arconia, only to discover they still can't get in the building. Someone has been killed. The trio sneak into the building and discover their neighbor has been gruesomely killed. The same neighbor they all shared an elevator with hours before the alarm went off, Mr. Tim Kono. Oliver comes up with this bright idea to do a true crime podcast. Who was Tim Kono? So, it turns out that Mabel actually knew Tim Kono. She grew up visiting the Arconia because her aunt actually had an apartment there, and she had met and became friends with him. Tim, Zoe, and Oscar were all residents of the Arconia and all became friends in the building until someone was killed, causing their friends to basically disband. And we find out later in the season what happened, but that's pretty much that. And please note there are flashbacks in season 1, so pay attention as there's interesting details.
Because Tim's family lived in the Arconia.
Yes.
Oscar's dad was the
our maintenance man.
Mabel's aunt owns the apartment that she's currently in the present.
Yep.
And Zoe's family owned the 9th floor. Yeah.
Weird, interesting stuff. So, like I said, flashbacks happen. Pay attention to them because there's detailed information in there that happens. The board chairman, Bunny, calls together a memorial in the lobby of the Arconia for Tim. Mind you, she really don't care. She's a true New Yorker, let's put it that way.
Well, and also nobody really cares what happened to they don't have anything nice to say about Tim.
No. Some of the neighbors speak up regarding wanting his apartment and being allowed to use fireplaces again because he was the reason they were unable to do...
He was allergic, yeah.
Yep, he was allergic to the smoke and was unable to do the fireplaces. So the trio noticed that Tim basically had no friends at the Arconia. They also discovered that their other neighbor, Howard's cat, Evelyn, died the same night Tim did.
And they're like, are you okay? And he's like, my Evelyn died. And then all the other neighbors are like, Evelyn, not Evelyn. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, they cared more that Evelyn passed away than Tim Kono.
Yes, they did. I thought it was really cute. It was interesting that, the cat was more important. And you find out that the cat liked to go and visit apartments. So if you left your window open, you might have saw Evelyn. Bunny also notifies Oliver that his building fees are past due, and if he doesn't pay, he will be evicted. So, Oliver goes to the building manager, Ursula, who has tea on Tim Kono, but he cuts a deal with her for exchange of files of complaints and other dirty good information too good to write down all about Tim.
Yeah, he has to buy that milk gut stuff.
Gut milk.
Oh, gut milk.
Gut milk. This stuff just sounds awful. And he has to buy several cases of it. So she's one of those
side hustle.
Yes, making extra money. So Mabel later returns to Tim's apartment to find hollowed out books filled with jewelry. Not sure what is going on. She records herself to prove, one, that she's innocent, and also in case that she may be next, because like I said, they were friends before. 4.
Now, the police think it's a suicide.
Correct.
But
The trio.
Realized that he was looking for
A ring.
a package.
Yep.
And they broke into Bunny's apartment because apparently the mail gets sent to the
wrong apartments.
Wrong apartments all the time, and they deduced that based on, I guess, whether you're an A, B, or C apartment, they
You
can
went in a
figure,
certain, yeah.
So they figure out it was Bunny's. They break into Bunny's. They find the package. They open it up, and there's a diamond ring. And they were like, well, why would he have killed himself if he was trying to find this diamond ring?
Exactly.
And there are also, in the garbage, they find a lot of drafts of what sound like a suicide note, like,
Yes.
I can't do this anymore, or whatever.
And they find more trash, I believe, in they use the trash bags in Tim Kono's apartment to load, like, all the books and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that becomes a key factor also in the case itself. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on. So with everything going on at that point, Oliver's in search for a sponsor to help with the money troubles and the podcast itself. Mm-hmm. So he goes to an old friend from the theater and another resident of the Arconia, Mr. Teddy Demas, aka Nathan Lane, if you don't know. He runs a famous dip business. P.S. The dip on the show actually looked really bomb. I really wanted to eat it. Mm-hmm. It looked good. I like dips. So, yay. Anyway, Teddy declined for this new adventure, but he wants to talk to Oliver again, have drinks another time and stuff, and they eventually do that. So, while Oliver's in search for a sponsor, Charles and Mabel question Howard about his deceased cat, Sweet Evelyn. When they interview Howard, Charles ends up getting a nosebleed, causing Howard to just collapse on the floor. I immediately got it, but maybe some people didn't, and obviously they didn't as characters. Mabel rushes to his side and tells Charles, "Go get some ice!" So he opens the freezer and discovers Evelyn's body in the freezer. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that whole scene was really funny. Mm-hmm. I know it's wrong, but it was funny. He gets ice from Mabel, and Howard comes to. He explains he passes out at the sight of blood, which to them pretty much eliminates him as a suspect. Mm-hmm. In the midst of the investigation, they run into a resident. She is a bassoon player named Jan, played by Amy Ryan, who takes a sudden interest in Charles. Meanwhile, Oliver runs into Sting and has an interesting conversation with him.
The lead singer of the Police.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. They run into a lot of people in that freaking elevator. It's like the meet cute place. So, after speaking with Sting, he builds up this courage and basically goes back and talks to his buddy Teddy, Mr. Dipman, and drumroll, gets the sponsorship for the podcast. So, meanwhile, Mabel ends up finding a note in Tim's little stash of books as she's been slowly going through them all, and it says GM 1-31 at 4:30 Shore Drive. Not sure what all that means. She wants to find out more, and she's keeping this from the guys. So it's like kind of like a secret investigation within the investigation. All of a sudden they receive a worried text from Oliver that his dog Winnie has been poisoned. He's possibly next. The trio devise a plan to finding out if Sting is the killer.
Right, because that's plausible.
So they devise this plan with a turkey. I'm not going to go into full detail on it, but they manage to get in and talk to him. After speaking with Sting, he is guilty of telling Tim to go kill himself, and he feels guilty that he actually finished the act, not knowing that this is a murder case. Mm-hmm. So basically it's like, we're back to square one again. Who can the killer be? So that's pretty much a lot of the going back and forth. They're investigating a lot of the crimes as far as who they think did it, and you find out, like I said, there's flashbacks. You're gonna find out more details as to who did it, why, and it's a page turner for sure. Mm-hmm. I thoroughly enjoyed season 1. It right off the bat, the first episode, it was like, ooh, it caught you, and it just kept going, and it just didn't stop. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Is there anything that you think I should tell them that I may have missed?
Going kind of parallel is that stupid Not All Is Okay in Oklahoma podcast.
Yes.
You see more of Tina Fey's character, who's the podcast host.
Yeah, there's that. And then she's kind of getting a hint on, she jokingly jokes about their podcast on Jimmy Fallon. And Teddy gets super excited about that. Did y'all realize y'all's names were put on Jimmy Fallon, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, there's people starting to listen to this podcast and get interested. And they get fans. And all in all, the season 1, great season. Loved it. And I'm loving the fact that I'm getting to rewatch it all again. I'm gearing up for us to discuss season 3. And maybe become the official podcast spokespeople.
You're funny.
For Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah,
Hey.
I doubt that.
Hey, here's to hoping. I mean, I think that they're a great bunch.
So next episode, probably going to talk about Ahsoka. They dropped 2 episodes.
So we got that. We got the final Stars on Mars. And we'll talk more about Only Murders in the Building. I think hopefully I'll be done this week with season 1. I can gear up this weekend on season 2 and get a little list together for you on that.
That's about it.
All right. Until next time, guys, stay cool, relax, remember to take mental breaks.
And drink lots of water.
Lots and lots of water. And always have fun and stay safe. Bye!
Bye!